Hello again, welcome to our online lesson. I am so sorry for the technical problems that we had. I think the broadcasting was failing and the speed of the internet, the place where I live was quite low. So that and we changed the internet to the different one. So at the moment I think it is good and everyone can hear me and can watch us easily. So let's start to talk about present perfect, the present perfect, the mystery tense of English language. We were talking about the situations. Like in English, we have three different situations to use the present perfect tense. The first one, like the present perfect. How can we use the present perfect? As you know, today's lesson is about present perfect for intermediate level of students. And I am Nijat. I will be here for 2 hours from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and I will be really happy if I get your questions related to the topic. Okay, and I will be waiting for your comments. If you have any comment, if you have any question, if you have any idea to share, please leave a comment and ask me your questions. Okay, so we have been talking about the present perfect tense. As you know, in the last lesson, we talked about the present simple, present continuous, but in today's lesson we will be talking about the present perfect. It is much difficult than, actually much more difficult than the past present simple and present continuous. This is the present perfect. We use it a lot, like in our daily language we use it a lot. And three situations there are, we use the present perfect in our speaking. The first one is about an event, begins in the past, like something started in the past and continues up to the present moment. By the way, I'm gonna say again to everyone, so sorry for the technical problems that we had and we solved it. All right, and yes, the first situation, like something happened in the past and continues up to the present moment, up to now. For example, I've been here since 7 a.m., right? And we have since plus date, we have for plus a period of time, and we have all plus a period of time. Like since, for, and all, they are keywords that we use. We use them to show the present perfect tense. And I was going to show you an example, and I was going to show you my sentence. Okay, I will. I hope I will. Yes, it is here. And yeah, I am Nijat. I'm a teacher of Justenglish. I moved to Istanbul in 2007. How can we make present perfect tense, present perfect, like a sentence with a present perfect here? So can you help me? Can you help me make a sentence for this one? The first sentence I will write it myself in order to show how can we use the present perfect. For example, I've been, or I've lived in Istanbul for 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years. Yes, I've lived in Istanbul for 3 years. Okay. Yes, this is one of the sentences for present perfect. I used for here. So how can we change this sentence with since? He is live in Istanbul since 2007. Not he is. We can use Mr. Mehmet. We can use he has. Okay, because present perfect tense, we use have or has plus verb 3, like you say past participle. Past participle, yes. For example, he has lived in Istanbul. He has lived in Istanbul since 2017. Yes, since 2017. Like period we show. But for, as you see from this one, like look at here, since plus date for a period of time. Let me check your comments if you have any question. Mehmet says, yes, I showed you, Mehmet, the correct answer. Lived, has lived. Yes. All right. And Sıla says, I've lived in Tekirdağ for 5 years. Thank you, Sıla, for your idea. That's correct. Duygu Yalçın, I've been living in Istanbul since 3 years. Since 3 years, it is false, Duygu. For 3 years, okay, not since, for 3 years. Mehmet Bozkurt says he has lived in Istanbul since 2007. Yes, that's correct answer. Thank you. Yes, and I've worked here, like I've worked here since, for example, 2002. I've worked here since 2002. So since, we have to use date for a period of time. For example, how many years, how many months, how many hours, how many, for example, how many months, how many years, how many days, okay, how many weeks. So if you see for, we have to write the amount of time, okay, a period of time. But for and all, they are the same, like the rules. But when it comes to since, we must use a date. We must use a date. For example, I've talked about grammar, like present perfect. I've talked about the grammar since 4 p.m. right? I started at 4 p.m. and I'm still here. It's continuing. I'm talking about the grammar. It hasn't finished. It started at 4 p.m. and it's still true. Mehmet Bozkurt, I've learned English all 5 years. For 5 years. All 5 years. All my life, you can say. All, not all, like 4 5 years. It could be good. It could be better. Okay, the first situation is about something happened, like something started. Keep in your mind, started in the past and continues up to the present tense, like up to now. All right. And second situation, it was the first situation. At the moment, we are talking about the second situation to use the present perfect tense. How can we use that? When a portion of time is not completed. For example, a week, right? Jada says, hi Jada, welcome to our online lesson, and please enjoy and learn. When a portion of time is not completed. For example, I have spoken to Liz many times this week. Many times, maybe, let me highlight it. Many times, okay? Many times, maybe 5 times, maybe 10 times, maybe 15 times, right? This week hasn't finished. For example, today is Saturday. The week will be finished tomorrow. The week will finish tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. So maybe I will talk to Liz more than 15 times, maybe 25 times, maybe 30 times, maybe 35 times. It means when a portion of time is not completed, we use present perfect tense. Like keywords we have to indicate this situation is today, this semester, this winter, this year. Okay, let's make some examples. Let's write some sentences related to this tense, this situation, like situation 2. For example, let's use today. Today I've drunk, like drunk. I've drunk 4 cups of 4 cups or 4 bottles of water. So I've drunk 4 bottles of water. It may be 5. It can be 6. It can be 7. It can be 8 or 10. Because today isn't finished. Okay, today like it is 4 p.m. or 4:30, right? So it hasn't finished. Maybe I will drink more than 4. Okay, it is possible. What about you? Can you tell me one sentence for this situation? Like today you have done something and you haven't finished it yet. All right, I am waiting for your comments. Just write an example, like when a portion of the time is not completed. Example, I've spoken to Liz many times this week. Or, for example, I've drank 4 bottles of water 4 bottles of water today. Okay, I forgot to write today. Okay, this is the present perfect. So I am waiting for your sentences. Just write one sentence by using today, maybe this week, maybe this semester, this winter, this year, this month. Okay, can you write just one sentence, please? I'm waiting for your comments to check to make sure you understand or not. Yes, I got a comment from Duygu. Duygu says, I've watched 2 episodes of show today. Yes, that is the fantastic. Duygu says, I will write Duygu's sentence here. Duygu says, I watched 2 episodes of show today. She has watched 2 episodes of a show. Okay, I have a show today. All right. So Duygu says she has watched 2 episodes of a show today. Perfect. Thank you, Duygu. It was fantastic. Rana says, I've studied on this project for 1 month. Yes. Okay. 4 months, or like Rana, your sentence is good, is true, grammatically correct, but for this situation is not correct. For this situation you can say, let me help Rana. In this situation you should write, for example, I've read 5 books this month. Yes, I've read 5 books this month. It means you can read more than 5 because this month hasn't finished. Today is 16th of May and we have 2 weeks more. It means you can read maybe 5 more books. Okay, great. And Scylla, she has lost her wallet today. Yes, Scylla, your sentence is a little bit like funny. Why? Because maybe he or she will lose more than 1 wallet. Yes, Jafar says, I've gone to school just 1 month in this semester. This month in this semester. Okay, I've gone to school just once a month, just once in this semester. Jafar says, okay, let me correct Jafar's sentence. Jafar says, okay, I've gone. He has gone to the school. He has gone to school once this semester. Yeah, because of the coronavirus, nobody goes to school. Everybody stays at home and everybody studies online, such as Justenglish students. They watch our YouTube channel and they learn English with us. Great, Jafar. Umut Tubak, I've agreed to listen this week. I'm sorry, I've agreed to lessons this week. Not agreed. You should use a different verb. Mehmet Bozgur says, I visited my mother this winter. I visited my mother twice this winter. Yes, great, Mehmet. Let me write Mehmet's sentence. He has visited his mother twice this month, for example. Yes, that's great. Thank you. Or this winter, sorry. This winter. That's perfect. All right. A portion of time isn't finished. So this is a present perfect. Like a portion of time is not completed. This was the second rule of what? Present perfect. I've gone to Justenglish since 3rd of February. Okay, Azime says, Azime, let me write Azime, or otherwise she will be offended by me. Azime says, I've gone to Justenglish. Okay, Azime, she has gone to Justenglish since. Not since. Okay, since 3rd of February. Okay, like this sentence is correct. This sentence is correct. All right, it was the second rule. And what about the third situation? Situation number 3, to use the present perfect tense. When there's an action or repeated action in the past with no specific time, that exact time that even happened is not important. For example, they have moved into a new apartment. Like, we use present perfect. We use present perfect to talk about news. Okay, we use present perfect to talk about news. How? Present perfect. When we are talking about news. For instance, they have moved to a new apartment, right? A new house. They have moved to a new apartment. This is a news. This is news, okay? When, you can ask me when, it's not important. It's not important because it's a news, and this is an indefinite time, okay? But if we mention the time, we must use past simple. For example, they moved to a new house, for example, five days ago. As you see, I use ago because I mentioned the date, time, okay? When, like when, question we add, when. They moved to a new house 5 days ago. Wow, like on Monday they moved to a new house. But for present perfect, we don't need to use any time. Like, it is not important. As you see from here, like, they have moved into a new apartment. I've seen that movie 10 times. Indefinite mean belli olmayan. Yani belli değil. Mehmet. Mr. Mehmet. Okay, like definite belly time, like for example, 5 days ago. This is a definite time. Okay, so but indefinite time, they have moved into a new apartment. When it's not important, I used present perfect for news. Okay. Duygu Yalçın asked me a question. Can we just say that they moved to a new house? Yes, we can use they moved to a new house, but we must show time. Okay, we must show definite time for past simple. Past simple. We have to show, or we have to show. All right. We have to show the time. Duygu. If not, we must use the present perfect. Okay, the present perfect we have to use. All right. I'm gonna continue with exercise here. From my screen, you can see right, for or since. Let's practice a little bit for since and for. How can we use since and where we can use for? Look at number 1. Jill has been in Ireland since Monday. Okay. It means Jill is still in Ireland. Great. Or Jill has been in Ireland for 3 days. It means Jill went to Ireland 3 days ago. So Jill is in Ireland and it's been for 3 days. All right, let's do number 3. My aunt has lived in Australia 15 years. 15 years. So how can we use and which answer could be correct for number 3? For or since? I have to write a note here. Yes, I should write down the number of hours, the number of sentences. Yes, okay. And let me check your answers. Mehmet says since, Rana says for, since. Okay, for number 3, my aunt has lived in Australia. My aunt has lived in Australia. How many years? If you can ask this question, how many years, we use for. Okay, so the number 3, sorry, not number 1. Number 3, the correct answer is for. Like my aunt has lived in Australia for 15 years. For 15 years, not since. Okay, since like it could be, for example, like here, since 2005. Okay, since 2005, but for 15 years. For 15 years. Okay, so the number 3 is for. Why for, Mehmet? Because how many years? How many years? For 15 years. Like as I show you, like let me show you again. Like here, station 1, since we have to use date. Okay, since we have to use date. I will highlight it for you. Like since plus date. Like since dan beri for'dır anlamında. Thank you Zephyr for your explanation. But for a period of time, like how many years, how many months, how many days. All right, so guys, let's continue. So number 3, for 15 years. Number 4, Margaret is in her office. She has been there. Number 4, I hope you will find the correct answer for number 4. Margaret is in her office. She has been there. She has been there for şu kadar zamandır. Yes, great. Sıla, thank you. Thank you so much. Sıla is my assistant, by the way. She helps me. Sıla helps me. Duygu helps me sometimes. Azime translates my sentences to Turkish. Thank you so much for your great help. So, number 4 will be since. Since 7 o'clock. Yes, since 7 o'clock is a correct answer. Great. Thank you, guys. Your answers are awesome. Perfect. Number 5. India has been an independent country. India has been an independent country 1947. So for number 5, we have date. Sıla says since, Mehmet says since, Duygu says since. Let's wait for the other answers. For number 5, yes, the correct answer is since. Since is a correct answer. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your fantastic answers. For number 6, the bus is late. The bus is late. We have been waiting. Number 6, we have been waiting. Yes, Zafer, Azime, Mehmet, Rana, Duygu, Sıla, Mehmet, your answers are correct. And number 6, the bus is late. We have been waiting. We have been waiting for, yes, for 20 minutes. Great, for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, we use like how many minutes? 20 minutes. Yes, 20 is correct. Number 7, nobody lives in those houses. They have been empty. Number 7. Number 6, for number 7. Nobody lives in those houses. They've been empty. Number 7 is for. Yes, for many years. Yes, for many years. Okay, 4 is a correct answer to number 7. Number 7 is 4. Last one, number 8. Mike has been ill, blah blah blah, a long time. Has been in hospital, blah blah blah, October. Yes, number 8. Sıla has already written the answer, and Duygu as well. Yes, Mike has been ill for a long time. Yes, the number 8, the first part. For a long time, he has been in hospital since October. Yes, perfect. Since October is a perfect answer. Okay, let me ask you different questions for present perfect, and you will answer to my question by writing a sentence in present perfect. The question is, have you ever ridden an animal? Have you ever ridden an animal? The question is, have you ever ridden an animal? If you want to see the question, I can write it here. Just a minute. Yes. Have you ever ridden an animal? Question is, have you ever ridden an animal? Yes, Zahida wrote the question. No. Like, just answer to my question, okay? Have you ever ridden an animal? Have you ever ridden? For example, you can say, yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay? Have you ever ridden an animal? Like ride, rode, ridden. Have you ever eaten sushi? Yes. Have you ever eaten sushi? Great. So, like, write the answer to this question. Okay. Umut says all, but I want to try. Fatmanur says no, but I want to try. And I say yes, it was a horse. Okay, you can say I've ridden a horse. Great. I've ridden a horse. Yes, I have. Jada says yes. Sıla says yes. That's great. So, and the next question, I've ridden a horse for a long time ago. So, if you say, Duygu, I've ridden a horse for a long time ago, this sentence is false. We shouldn't write ago, okay? Ago, we use it for past simple, not present perfect, okay? past simple. So you can say I've ridden a horse, or I've ridden a horse since I was a child, since my childhood, since when I was a child, or like since my childhood you can say, or since 2012, for example. Yes, date, let's use. I've ridden a horse since 2012. Yes. All right. And next question, the next question, I will ask you, how long have you studied English? How long have you studied English? How long have you studied English? Can you tell me how long have you studied English? English. So, like me, I can say I've studied English more than, for example, 15 years. More than 15 years. So what about you? How long have you studied English? Alright, Jada says since 2015. Like, it's been 5 years, Jada. It's been for 5 years. Jada says she has learned English for 5 years and she's still learning. Okay, Jafar says I've studied English for 8 months. Good, Jafar, thank you. Jafar says he has studied English for 8 months. That's perfect. So Jafar can write a sentence in present perfect. It is fantastic. It is really fantastic. I've studied English since my childhood, Azime says. Thank you, Azime. That's great. All right. And Eren said, I've ridden a horse long time ago. Eren, it is wrong. Mehmet said, I've studied English for I have seen my Mr. Nijat. I've studied English. Mr. Mehmet, the answer should be like this. I've learned English since I saw Mr. Nijat's lesson. Yes, I've learned English since I saw Mr. Nijat's lesson. Yes, great. All right, and for a long time, yeah, for a long time is correct. Had ridden, Eren, not past perfect, okay, not had ridden. Had ridden is not a correct. Like, you should say, I rode a horse for a long time ago. Like, Eren, let me write your sentence. I rode a horse for a long time ago. This is a past simple. This is a past simple. It's not a present perfect. Okay? Yes. All right, guys, let's have break time. After having the break time, like 15 minutes break time, we will continue with the second part of the lesson. Please, if you have any question, let me know your question. Write your question, leave your comments there, and I will be really happy to answer to your question. Okay, guys, see you in 15 minutes break, and I will be here again at 5 p.m. Okay?
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world full of joy and smile, a world where everyone only by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world, just English style. Learn, play, sing and dance, do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance, do but do just English style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Enthusiastic.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Pronunciation.
Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
Just return.
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
A word for the joy and smile, a world where everyone only by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world, Justenglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance, do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance, do but do Justenglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
Hello again. Welcome to our online lessons second part. We will continue with the present perfect rules and how can we use the present perfect. In the first part of the lesson, we talked about three situations to use the present perfect, and now we will continue with we will continue with the rest of the grammar today. And how can we use the present perfect, and how can we make the sentences? I will explain them one by one for you. This grammar is for intermediate level students, and I hope you will learn the grammar perfectly, and you won't have any problem with this grammar. All right, so let's continue. If you don't have any if everybody's here, we can continue. All right, most of the students get confused by present perfect and simple past, like past simple. Why we use present perfect and why we use past simple. We have like present perfect and past simple, and I will show you some sentences in order to differentiate these two tenses. Okay, let me write the sentence in the present perfect and one sentence in past simple. Okay, like present perfect, if we are talking about news, we use present perfect. And if we are talking about life experience, we use present perfect. And we use present perfect for unfinished actions. Okay, like something started in the past and it is still true. And we use present perfect for what? News, life experience, unfinished actions. And can you tell me for what? News, life experience, unfinished actions, and continuous process, for example. And the last one, the questions like have you ever? Okay, for example, I will write some sentences. For news, for example, I've cut my finger. News. Or life experience, I have traveled, or I've eaten sushi, or I've traveled what? I have traveled so many countries. Yes, we use the present perfect. And continuous process, for example, I've lived in Istanbul. That's great. And continuous process, I said, okay, I forgot unfinished actions. For example, we have talked about the grammar, like about the present perfect. We have been talking about grammar. Yes, the grammar topic is about the present perfect. Yes, news, life experience, unfinished action, continuous process. And the question was, have you ever? For example, have you ever eaten, or not eaten? Like, let's use a different word. Have you ever visited, or have you ever what? Can you give me an idea? Have you ever seen a whale? Yes. Have you ever seen a whale? Yes. The questions start with have you ever? Okay, guys, if you have any questions related to this tense, like a present perfect, let me know. Leave your comments here. I will read and I will answer to your questions. And if you have any problem, and you can ask me, and if you don't understand, I will explain them one by one again, no problem. And Mr. Lasha Gvaladze, one of our teachers, left a comment if action has finished but time hasn't. Yes, for example, today, this week. Yes, I've explained, I've talked about it a few minutes ago, like in the first part of the lesson, the situation to use the present perfect tense when a portion of time is not completed. For example, I've spoken to Liz many times this week. It means this week hasn't finished yet. That's why we can use the present perfect. There are some signal words. There are some words like shows the present perfect, like the ask and requires the present perfect. Like today, this semester, this winter, and this year. All right, and past simple. What about the past simple? Like present perfect. All right, let me write it here. Yes, I will ask you. Present perfect or past simple. Which one? Like the question is this: present perfect or past simple? Which one we can use and where we can use? Why we use past simple? Why we use present perfect? Can you let me know, please? Is there any special meaning of the word perfect in the where? I couldn't understand. The present perfect. Yes. Is there special meaning? I couldn't understand, Azima, what you mean. Can you make it clear, please? Present perfect or past simple. For example, I've lived in Istanbul for 2 years. And I moved to Istanbul. 2 years ago. So as you see, like we have two different sentences. Like I've lived in Istanbul for 2 years. Let me change the color of the sentence. Okay. I've lived in Istanbul for 2 years. This one, like first one was the present perfect. The second one is the past simple. Like present perfect, the first sentence. And the second sentence is in the past simple. Yes. Like the first sentence is present perfect. The second sentence is about the past simple. Phrase. Is the special meaning of the third perfect in the phrase? Present perfect. Like we have signal words that we use for present perfect. Since, just, already, yet. Yeah. Like past simple. As you see, we used ago. Okay. If you see, like signal words for past simple are ago, last, and yesterday. So this is about the past simple, but signal words for let me write for here. For past simple, signal words for present perfect are which ones? For example, just. I've just eaten my dinner. Great. Okay. Or already. Or just, already, yet. Still, we can use for and since. Yes. They are the signal words we use for present perfect. Great. So, but for past simple, ago, last, and yesterday. So ago, last, and yesterday. If you see one of these words, it means we have to use a past simple. If you see like the sentence with I forgot, still is like double L. I forgot to write one L here. Yes, just, already, yet, still, for, and since we can use for present perfect. All right, let me ask you a question, but they have they have question. Mr. Mehmet Bozkurt asked me question. I listened Mr. Nijat. I listened to Mr. Nijat's lessons 2 years ago. Wow, Mr. Mehmet, I don't remember when did you come to my lesson. As I say, special meaning of the word perfect in the present perfect tense. Perfect, present perfect, like completed. Something completed. Okay, that's why we call it perfect. Mehmet Bozkurt said, I've listened to Mr. Nijat's lessons for 2 months. Yes, for 2 months. That is correct. I've listened to Mr. Nijat's lessons for 2 months. For 2 months is a correct answer. Okay, let's continue with some exercises here. Like put the verb in the present perfect or past simple. That is a really wonderful exercise for students. Let me make it bigger for you. Yes, I think everybody can see. Right. Okay, for number 1 and number 2, they have already been written here. And let's continue with number 3. So the verbs we have in here, we have to use like in the brackets here, we have to use in the present perfect or past simple. Ancient time past, is it? Yes, it is. Ancient time, it means like years ago. Azme says, what does the word perfect refer in the present perfect tense? Yeah, I told you. Perfect. Played, thanks a lot. Merve didn't shows thumbs. Okay, so number 3. Which one we should use, the past simple or present perfect? Okay, for number 3, I'm waiting for your comments. Okay, played, to date back. Yes, like something back, of course. I played tennis yesterday afternoon. Yes, because of what? Because of yesterday. That's the good, correct answer. Yes, because of yesterday. We have a yesterday here. That's why we use what? We use past simple. Like played is a correct answer to number 4. Okay, number 4. What time? Blah blah blah. Last night. To bed last night. Number 4. They say, Talha says, did you go? Okay, what time did you go? Yes, did you go is a correct answer for number 4. It is because last night. Okay, yesterday, last, ago. They are the signal words of past simple. They are signs of past simples. That's why we must use did. Did you go? Not have you gone. Okay. Kopya çekme Sıla. Talha says kopya çekme Sıla. Okay, nobody's copying. Nobody's cheating here. All right, let's continue with number 5. Number 5, a famous person. Have you ever met? Yes, have you ever met a famous person? Have you ever met a famous person? The question is, have you ever met any famous person in your life? Guys, can you tell me who you have met or you met in the past? Have you ever met any famous person in your life? And can you tell me who was that person? All right. Number 5. I ask you a question. Can you answer to my question? Atakan Özyurt says. Atakan Özyurt. Atakan, I think he is a small boy. Yes, like 12 or 10 years old boy, and he's famous in Turkey. He became a famous person in Turkey, in Istanbul. Yes, Ajdar. I don't know who is Ajdar. Okay, Mehmet says, Mr. Nijat, thank you, Mr. Mehmet. Okay, and I'm not a famous person, by the way. Who was a famous person you have met in your life? Can you tell me? Who is a famous person? Okay, let's continue. Let's continue with number 6. The weather, blah, 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 very good yesterday. So, what should we write for number 6? The weather to be very good yesterday. For number 6, which answer should we write here? The weather very good yesterday. My famous person only special. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bozkurt. Rana Kushtu says was not. Yes, the weather wasn't very good yesterday. Was not is a correct answer for number 6 because yesterday, as you see, we have at the end of the sentence. That's why we have to use a past simple in this sentence. Wasn't is a correct answer. Thank you. Talha, Duygu, Mehmet, Sıla, Rana. Great. And number 7, my hair is wet. My hair is wet and blah blah blah, just wash it. So for number 7, past simple or present perfect? Past simple or present perfect? Have just washed. Sıla says, let's wait for other comments, for other answers, Sıla, and then I will let you know. Just washed, not watched. Wash. Yes. I've number 7. I have just washed. Yes, have just washed, and we have to use just between have and past participle, like between the verbs. Have and washed. Okay, yes, number 7 was correct. And number 8, my hair before breakfast this morning. Number 8. Number 8. Waiting for your answers for number 8. Which answer will be correct? We will see. Number 8, my hair before breakfast this morning. I will be waiting. Actually, I am waiting. I am waiting for your answers. Let me check your comments. Okay, and yes. Okay, washed. I washed, but not washed. Number 8, this morning. This morning, it means past simple. At the moment, it is afternoon. So number 8 for the correct answer for number 8 is washed. Just washed. Okay, just washed. Past simple. Past simple is a correct answer. Yes. So just washed. Rana, Salah. Your answers are correct. Yes. Number 8 is just washed. Number 9. Kathy travels a lot. She blah 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 many countries. Like indefinite time we have here. If we have indefinite time, we have to use what? Present perfect. Yes, present perfect. She has visited. Fantastic. She has visited many countries. That's correct. Great. And number 10, is Sonia here? No, she blah 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 yet. Nehir Demir, Ayna, Rana, Mehmet, Sıla, Talha, Mehmet. Wow, we have so many active students at the moment. They are online and answering to my questions here. Thank you, guys. Hasn't come. Yes, she hasn't come, has not come yet is a correct answer. Great. Great. All right, and the next time we will play game. Next time we will play game here in order to check your grammatical skills and vocabulary. So guys, I will ask you to ask a question from your friends here. Please write a sentence to your question. For example, Sıla, write come. Come is a correct answer, Mehmet. Come, came, come. Past participle is come. Sıla asks Mehmet. Mehmet will ask Rana. Rana will ask Ayna. Ayna will ask Neştari. Okay, just use present perfect. Okay, just use the present perfect tense to ask a question from your friends here, from your online friends. And I will ask you the first question. If you hesitate, I will ask a question. The question is, have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? Have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? Like I'm writing the question here. Have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? Have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? The question is, have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? Yes. Have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? The question is, and I hope you will understand the question and you will write an answer to that question. So the question is, have you ever fallen in front of a large group of people? I think yes, you have. Fallen down, yeah, fallen down is a correct. Okay. Zafer says, yes, I have. Okay. Actually, it's really embarrassing situation for the people. If you know, for anyone, like even for me, like when you fall down in front of a group of people, you you don't know what to do. Yeah, you don't know what will you do. And if you realize that the people are looking at you at that time, you get you get ashamed. All right, so the next question, for example, Jada, if you have any question, ask me, please. Ask me questions, and ask me questions with present perfect, with the past simple. How can we make a present perfect? How can we make a but please ask me your questions. Ask me your questions. And we have like approximately 25 minutes, and I will answer to your questions here. Please ask your questions, as many as you can or as many as you have. Like, have you ever read a book by Dostoevsky? Yes, Rana. I've read. Rana's question is, have you ever? Rana says, have you ever read a book by Dostoevsky? Yes. Okay. Yes, I have. I've read like Crime and Punishment. I've read from Dostoevsky. Okay, next question is coming. Have you ever jumped with a parachute? I'm unfortunately no, I know, but the thing I wanna do that. Let me write Aina's question here. Have you ever jumped with a parachute? No, I haven't. I've never jumped with a parachute in my life. Mr. Mehmet asks, have you ever Mr. Mehmet. Okay, next question. Next question. Yes, we have so many fantastic teachers here. We have Mr. Ali, we have Mr. Lasha, we have Mr. Joseph, and others. Yes, they are really great teachers. All right. So the next question. Ask me your questions if you have a question with grammar, with the vocabulary, with the present perfect or past simple. Have you ever tried to overcome with one of your fear? Yes, I have, Duygu. A lot of time. Lots of time. Duygu. Duygu, it's really good question. Duygu says, have you ever tried to overcome? Have you ever tried to overcome with one of your fears? Yes, I have overcome. Have you ever been to China? Jaffer asks, have you? Jaffer asks me, have you ever been to China? Have I ever been to China? No, I haven't. I've never been to China. I've been to different countries, Russia, Belarus, Germany, Italy, Georgia, and yes, and Ukraine. Yeah, approximately 6 countries I've been to so far, but I've never been to China. Great. And next question, please ask me your questions if you have. If not, we will continue with the next exercise here. You can see. Okay, like put the verb in the present perfect or past simple, as you see. Present perfect or past simple. Have you ever been to Florida? Yes. Okay, the sentence finished. And then we have to use a past simple. We went there on holiday 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, it's a past simple. That's why we used went. Okay, Janer asked me a question. Have you ever played musical instrument? Yes, Janer, I've played, and I really like playing musical instruments. And Zayda asked me, have you ever witnessed a crime? Unfortunately, no. I witnessed so many fights, but I've never witnessed any crime in my life. Have you ever done corona? No, Mr. Mehmet Bozkurt, I've never got any coronavirus. I hope I won't. Okay, so next one, number 1. Have you ever been to Florida? Yes, we went there on holiday 2 years ago. And the next question, what should I write for the next question? Can you tell me the correct answer for number 1, please? For number 1. Okay, for number 1, you have a good time. So, did you have a good time or have you had a good time? Which one should we use? Have you had a good time or did you have a good time? And yes, it's been great or it was great. Can you tell me? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. So, have you had a good time or did you have a good time? Yes, it was great or it's been great. They say, have you had? Mr. Mehmet and Jada says, have you had? Okay, all of you says, have you had? But I would say that your answer, unfortunately, is not correct. Because if we are talking about details, we use past simple. Okay, details, if you are talking about the details we use past simple. So the number one, the first part is did you have? Did you have? The second part, it was great. Because we are talking about details. Okay, if we are talking about details, we have to use past simple, not present perfect. Okay, so let's continue with number two. Where is Alan? Number two, where is Alan? Okay. Number two. I am waiting for your answers for number two. So by the way, and don't forget to subscribe and follow our YouTube channel and Instagram account, and you can also go to our Twitter account, Facebook account. You can watch and learn English during the pandemic situation. Like this is really great chance for everyone to learn English from home. Tala says, where's Alan? Have you seen him? Have you seen him? Why have you seen him? Because it's indefinite time. Have you seen him? Yes. The second part, we have ago. That's why we have to use he went out. He went out a few minutes ago. Yes, number two, the first part. Where's Alan? Where is Alan? Have you seen him? Okay, and the answer, yes, he went out a few minutes ago, because ago we have here. This is a past simple. That's why we use seen. Okay, and Julia, I don't know. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her. Yes, number two. Where is Alan? Where is Alan? Have you seen him? Yes, he went out a few minutes ago. And Julia, I don't know. I haven't seen her. Yes, that's great. That's great. Okay, and let's continue with number three. Number three. Rose works in a factory. She blah blah blah. There for 6 months. Before that, she blah blah in a restaurant. Rose works in a factory. She blah blah blah. There for 6 months. Before that, she. Okay, this is really interesting sentence. Number three. Let's answer to number three. Number three, has working. Has working is false. Rana, be careful. Rana, Kushtu, be careful with the grammar. Okay, and Rose works in a factory. Rose works in a factory. She has worked. She has worked there for 6 months. Yes, she has worked here for 6 months. Before that, she was a waitress. She was a waitress. Yes, she was a waitress. Has worked is a correct answer. Rana, Mehmet, Sıla, Ayna, and Mehmet. Yes, was a waitress in a restaurant. Like, because before that, in the past, before that, she was a waitress in a restaurant. She there for 2 months, but okay, so she worked there. Past simple form we have to use worked. Yes, Nehir Demir, thank you for your answer. Worked is a correct answer. She worked there for 2 years, but she didn't enjoy. Yes, she didn't enjoy it very much. Mehmet asks me why was, because before that she was a waitress. Like at the moment she works in a factory, but in the past she worked, like before working in a factory, she worked in a restaurant, then factory. So in the past restaurant, that's why we use was. She was a waitress in a restaurant. She worked there for 2 years, but she didn't enjoy it very much. Yes, didn't enjoy is a correct answer. That's great. Thank you, guys. And let's continue with number 4. Number 4. Do you know Martin's sister? The question is, do you know Martin's sister? Do you know Martin's sister? That's really interesting sentence. It's really interesting sentence. And if you find like number 4, all the answers correct, you will be champion, and I will write your names with big letters, on my screen. For example, Sıla, Mehmet, Rana. It can be Ayna, Nehir. Okay. So number 4, I will be waiting for your answers to number 4, and just write the correct answers for each sentence. Okay, not only for one, like each sentence for number 4. And please write, for example, say first one, see, saw, or have seen. The second one, I've never spoken, or I never spoke, blah blah blah, like this. Okay, write in order, write in the correct order, and I will choose who will be champion of today's lesson. Okay, we have really active students here. Nehir is here, Mehmet is here, Sıla is here, Rana, blah blah, like Ayna, and I forgot others' names. Yeah. All right, Sıla says. Okay, the first one I've seen. I have seen. Okay, do you know Martin's sister? I've seen her few times, but I've never spoken to her. I've never spoken to her. Spoken to her. Okay. Have you ever spoken to her? Have you ever spoken to her? Have you ever spoken to her? Yes. I met her at the party last week. I met her at the party last week. She is very nice. Yes. Okay. And check your answers. Check your answers. Who wrote the correct answer? There says, have never spoken. Yes, it's correct. Rana says, have you ever spoke? Not spoke, spoken. Okay. Don't forget to write an at the end of the word. Spoken. Speak, spoke, spoken. Speak, spoke, spoken. Okay. Zafer says, have seen, have never spoken, have you ever spoken, have met. Not have met, because I met her at a party last week. Mr. Jaffer, just one answer. You made a mistake. I met her at a party last week. Because of last week, it's a past simple. We have to use met, not have met. I'm so sorry. You made me sad, Mr. Jaffer. I was expecting you to write all answers correctly. Have you ever spoke? Sıla, what are you writing? Not spoke, spoken. Please make your answers correct. Ayna says so. First one, no. Ayna, not so. Have seen. Have never spoken, have you ever spoken, and met. Yeah, the first answer is wrong. Okay, I wrong last question. Yes, you wrote the last question wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, and unfortunately, nobody wrote all answers correctly. Nobody wrote all answers correctly. Yeah, and let me ask you some questions. Have you enjoyed today's lesson? Have you enjoyed today's lesson? And did you enjoy today's lesson? So we have two different questions, as you see. Have you enjoyed today's lesson? Did you enjoy today's lesson? The first one, today's lesson hasn't finished. We have few minutes. That's why we use it is unfinished actions. Unfinished action. Okay, that's why I use the present perfect. Present perfect. Okay, but did you enjoy today's lesson? Maybe today's lesson from 12 to finished actions. Past simple we have to use here. Maybe from 12 to 2. Past simple. Oh, I made mistake with the spelling. Yeah. Okay. Have you enjoyed today's lesson? Did you enjoy today's lesson? Like the first one is about like unfinished action. The second one is about the finished action. Okay. So your answer. Which one should we use here? Which one is correct? Which one is correct at the moment? Correct, yes. Which one is correct? The first sentence or the second sentence? Can you let me know which one is correct? Which one is correct? First or second? Rana says first. Yes, Rana. First sentence is correct. Thank you. And what about the second sentence? It's about what? It's about the past. Okay? It's about the past. Yes, great. So the first sentence, the first sentence is correct. Yes, the first sentence is correct. Have you enjoyed is a correct answer to this question. All right, guys, we have learned present perfect. How can we use present perfect? We use the present perfect for unfinished actions, for experience, life experience. We used present perfect for continuous process, and we use present perfect for news. If we are giving news, if we are talking about news, we use the present perfect tense. And I hope you learned a lot from today's lesson. And in the second part of the lesson, we talked about the differences between present perfect and past simple, like how can we differentiate the present perfect and past simple. As you see, for example, if I write last month he went shopping, he went to Boston yesterday, he gave her the gift there. So if you see last, yesterday, and ago, we have to use past simple, not present perfect. But he has gone to Boston several times. Like as you see, notice that the precise time of these trips cannot be determined. Okay, like it's a indefinite time. And like present perfect, we use have, has plus past participle, like subject plus have plus past participle, like I have, you have, he, she, it has, we, you, they have. And we have like two types of verbs in English. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Run, ran, like begin, began, begun. We have to use the third form of the verbs as you see here. And the questions we start with have or has. If we have WH questions in the sentence, we have to use them firstly. Okay guys, I'm gonna say thanks to everyone. Big thanks to everyone for today's lesson, for watching us here online. And I hope you learned a lot from today's lesson. Yes, hit Mr. Mehmet writes. I hope you learned a lot from today's lesson. Thank you so much again and again. And I hope you learned present perfect and the past simple. I hope you learned the differences between them. Thank you. Take care. Have a good weekend. See you later.
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek.